Hello! In the following videos I will perform a series of repairs, hacks and teardowns, so stay tuned cause things will become very interesting. These videos are dedicated to two ideas: reminding ourselves that we live in a time where we have to rethink our understanding of what is useless and what is not, keeping in mind the grave dangers that our planet will face if we maintain our throwaway mentality. But on the other hand, proving to you that this should be the golden age of hobby electronics, since that hobby has never been as affordable as it is today. To make my point, I bought a large package filled with various electronic devices on eBay. Without any exact knowledge of what would be inside, I bought it for around 10 euros, shipping costs included. So, let's see what we will find inside. A new 1/4-inch TS male connector cable. You can feel that it is of high quality. A non-switching AC adapter. Of course, everyone already has a ton of those, but you will see that they are still good for something. A switched mode power supply, namely an AC adapter for laptops. We'll make a teardown of that later. A pair of Nokia brand in-ear headphones. They seem to be nearly unused. Another non-switching AC adapter. We will take that apart later too. A VGA cable. An IEC60 320-1 mains cable, as it is used for ATX power supplies. You can never have enough of those. Now this is interesting. It is a so-called backup or rear view camera. These are used by car and truck drivers to watch what is behind their vehicles. The infrared LEDs tell me that this camera has night vision capability. We will try to get it running later in this video. And another non-switching AC adapter. It too will be taken apart. This is one of those really small cell phone chargers. It's a switched mode power supply too, and we will look inside this unit as well. Another pair of in-ear headphones. And here we have an old-fashioned TV aerial cable. Now that is something. A Pinnacle brand combined digital and analog TV tuner card. We will see if we can get it running. That would be great, since this would be still worth a couple of bucks. Here we have an old graphics card, a sound card, a network interface card, a Wi-Fi card, and two more network interface cards. I don't need any of those, but you can collect them and sell them. They are valuable because their contacts are gold-plated. This is an ISDN system. You can sure salvage some parts from it. An old PDA. Well, that thing is kinda crusty. And after some more cables and headphones, we have a digital satellite receiver. It has no HD output, but it is not the worst receiver I've ever seen. We will see if it's still working. This looks like a 1980s alarm clock. Now this is something. A passive infrared sensor-based motion detector. As it seems, the thing is brand new. We will test that later in the video. This is a digital timer. I'm sure that I will need one of those sooner or later. An optical computer mouse. It's a bit dirty, but I bet it still works. Now what do we have here? A relic of the 90s. A portable cassette player. And it seems to be quite a top-of-the-line product. It's very slim and its case is made of aluminium. It even still holds a cassette. This is great. A nice LCD monitor. I really could use another one of those. We will try it out. A big yellow flashlight. It is one with a built-in lead-acid battery, but sadly it is damaged at its back side. Another digital timer and some more Wi-Fi equipment. A pair of cheap walkie-talkies. Maybe I will try to use them as a multi-purpose remote control. This looks like a document shredder. I can't wait using it. This is a laminator for laminating sheets of paper. I already have one of those though. We still have a Sony PlayStation controller, a memory card, and last but certainly not least, a Sony PlayStation. It even comes with a game. What is it? Well, it's Theme Park World. Now, all in all, I have bought over 40 items for around 10 bucks. That means everything I deal with from now on cost me around 25 cents per item. It's crazy if you think about how much all this stuff must have cost the former owner 10 to 15 years ago. But let's start testing and repairing. When I have obtained new items, I always start by cleaning them up. In this way, a repair or any other handling of that gear is simply more comfortable. I start with the LCD monitor because I will use it to test some of the other devices from the package. After cleaning the monitor, I do the same thing with the PlayStation. Gaming consoles are often filthy because kids spilled cola or other drinks or food over it. Of course, while doing that, you should avoid any cleaning fluid getting inside the enclosure. The dirtiest of all are the controllers. I use a toothbrush and some detergent to reach the dirt inside the tiny gaps and indentations too. Off camera, I already tried to get the PlayStation running, but determined that it doesn't read the disk inside its drive. If this happens with any device based on a CD, DVD or Blu-ray player, even though that disk is in good condition, the thing to do is to open that device, take out the optical unit and clean it up. Inside the PlayStation, notice what a neat little power supply it has. We will take a closer look at that circuit in part 2 of this video series. The issue is often simply dust that has gathered on the surfaces of mirrors and lenses inside the unit. To get rid of that dust, you blow it out, using a compressor and a blowgun. After doing that, I still have to make a little modification to the device. Because I have no output cable for the console, I have to solder 2 wires to the audio-video jack, so that I can lead the composite video signal out of the device. This is only a temporary mod. I will unsolder those wires once I bought the proper cable. After that, I put the PlayStation together again and soldered a little RCA socket to the ends of the wires. Now it's time to see if the console and the LCD will work. For that, I have connected the PlayStation via a composite to VGA converter to the monitor's input. Well, let's turn it on. And ta-da! It's working. I don't know yet if everything is working fine, but I will find out later. Now that I know that the monitor is working and with the composite to VGA converter already connected, I can use it to test the satellite receiver as well. After cleaning the device, I connect the coax cable coming from my satellite dish to the tuner's input. Let's switch it on. And yes, it too works just fine. With the satellite receiver checked, I have now built the Pinnacle brand TV tuner card into one of my PCs. And after connecting my satellite dish to one of the tuner card's digital inputs and having installed a freeware TV program on my PC, I tried to watch TV via the card. And yes, it works without any problems. Another great score. With that being done, it is time to take a closer look at the backup camera I found in the package. As always, I try to clean it, though I have to say that the dirt is strong with this one. After removing at least some of the filth, I open the quite heavy metal case. As it looks, it's made of thick cast aluminium. It's also well protected against humidity by rubber. This thing is a quality product, and it must have been expensive. Inside you find quite a lot of miniaturized electronics. I take the camera module out of the enclosure so that I can remove the broken glass shield which sits in front of the camera. Luckily, the camera itself seems to be undamaged. Now I clean it as good as I can. The LEDs are infrared LEDs, which enables you to use the camera when it's dark outside. The single phototransistor has the purpose of measuring how bright the surroundings are, determining if the infrared LEDs should be switched on or not. After some research via the internet, I found out that the cable coming out of the enclosure holds the 12-volt supply rail, a composite video output with shielding, chassis ground, and another wire with which the image from the camera can be mirrored, an important feature when the camera is used for rear view. After I have found out the correct pinout, I put the case back together. To test the camera, I again hook it up to my new LCD monitor via the component to VGA converter. And as you can see, it just works fine. Now I have turned down the lights in the lab. And obviously the night vision works just fine as well. Now I want to test the PIR motion detector. This thing was the original reason why I placed a bid on the package in the first place. So I really hope that it works. These PIR motion detectors are usually comprised of 3 functional units. The first one is the detector circuit itself. It can be adjusted for the brightness of the surroundings, the sensitivity of the motion detection, and the duration for that the load is supposed to be switched on. The second unit is the relay, and the third one is the power supply. If you want to know what kind of power supply, then watch part 1 of my SMPS tutorial series. If you want to test a PIR detector, you have to connect the phase to one of its wires, usually the brown one. It's directly going to the power supply and to the relay. Another wire, usually a red or a black one, is the output of the detector, which is connected to the other contact of the relay. The neutral, coming from the grid, and the neutral of the load are connected together at the terminal with a blue wire. I have done exactly that with this light bulb. I also adjusted it to high brightness, high sensitivity and short duration. And as you can see, it works just fine. So, we have a working LCD monitor, a PlayStation, a digital satellite receiver, a combined digital and analog TV tuner card, a backup camera, and a PIR detector ready for action. Since I'm getting a little tired, I will take a look at only one more device for today, the document shredder. After roughly cleaning it on the outside, I open the enclosure of the shredder. As you can see, it consists of an electric motor, a gear train, and 2 rotating cylinders, which are equipped with sharp-edged metal discs. It doesn't really hold any complex electronics at all. Since this thing was apparently used a lot in the past, I expected a lot of dirt inside the unit. And as you see, I was right. To cope with this kind of dirt, there goes nothing over a compressor equipped with a blowgun. So, after cleaning it up internally and putting it together again, the shredder is ready for action. And it works like day one. Okay, so after I have tried getting as much stuff running as I could in this first video, while talking about the electronics involved only on a somewhat shallow level, I will go into detail in part 2. Which will hopefully be ready within the next days. In part 2, I will try to reverse engineer the switched mode power supplies which I found in the package, as well as the control circuit inside the laminator. I will also talk about repurposing the transformer cores inside the non-switching AC adapters which we saw earlier in the video. In any case, it will be very interesting. But now I have first something more important to do.
You're doing a great job. People in the park are really enjoying themselves. Keep it up.